My name is Jason Green. I own a restaurant. I just broke free from franchise, and I'm now on my own. And my true passion, true love is helping people. I do give backs, things like that in my restaurant. But I came up with this idea about a year ago that I was going to raise $1 million, and with that $1 million, I was going to help 1 million people. And not that I wanted it for myself, but it was a year ago. I was sitting in, I'm going to get emotional, but that's okay. About a year ago, every Monday and Tuesday, my dad was my delivery driver in my store. He passed away 9 months ago. And every Monday and Tuesday, we would talk religion, politics, the things that we both enjoyed discussing. The two things he told me I cannot discuss with customers, but I do anyway. I come today with views on religion and politics, hoping that you see where I'm coming from and want to help me make my dream come true. And during this process, I want to utilize every which way I can. So part of the $1 million would go towards filming everything and showing the lives being changed, turned into a documentary. The guy who is filming me right now, I found on Craigslist, and I'm sure he could use the extra work, and especially with wedding plans in the future. But I want to start off with you today with a joke that was told to me by a priest. So a guy named Michael walks up to the gates, says to Peter. Peter says to him, what's your name and what's your religion? Michael goes, my name's Michael. I'm Lutheran. He goes, go to door 13 when you're done. When you're walking by 8, be extra quiet and go to door 13. Next guy walks over, his name is John. He says, hi John, what religion are you? John says, Presbyterian. He's like, okay, go to door 27. While you're walking by 8, be extra quiet. Next guy comes over, his name's Mark. Hey Mark, what are you? He's like, I'm Jewish. He's like, while you're walking by 8, be extra quiet and go to door 17. He's like, okay. Mark takes 2 steps, stops, turns to Peter, says, why do I gotta be quiet while I'm walking by 8? And Peter goes to him, because that's where all the Catholics are. They think they're the only ones here. The priest then followed up with, the moral of the story is, in today's world that we live in, the chaos, the economic turmoil, the economic disaster that we're in, North Korea, whatever it may be, if you don't have faith, what do you have? And it was about a year ago now that I think I found faith, is what I would put it, is that, it was a Saturday night, I got home from work, and my dad's like me, he's a late night person. And it was around midnight, and I really just wanted to call him, talk, And I called him, and in the middle of our conversation, it just came over me like a wind, or I don't even know how to explain it. But I guess those of you who have faith do understand where I'm coming from with that. I don't want to spend every minute talking about religion, because I think religion's a touchy thing that, I don't care what you believe in as long as you believe in something. I believe that today everybody complains, Democrat, Republican, complains about all the world issues, but nobody says this is what I want to do to fix it. Everyone just has a bitch and a complaint about things. What I bring to you today is my ideas. I'm not saying that I'm the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm just your average Joe who makes cheesesteaks for a living. But our country was founded by average Joes. We had inventors, teachers, scientists, journalists. I mean, that's who built this country. This country was founded with people who stepped up to the plate to make a difference, to make things better, not to be where we're at today. And my ideas, my thought process is if I could raise $1 million, I could create something that's self-sufficient enough to guarantee me a roof over my head, food in my belly, and a shirt on my back. And that's all you really need. And with that, everything else is a bonus. I could use that bonus to help other people, especially in today's day and age. We need help. Everyone needs help. And that's part of the reason why I'm here today. You know, I'm going to share a few stories with you of people that I've come across in my life that have inspired me, along with sharing to you some of my, plans on turning this country around. I don't know how well that'll work, but hey, it's an idea. And you got to have ideas somewhere. Drilling for gas and oil, hot topic. Why worry about the Middle East and have them, providing to us? We have plenty of it underneath us. Then use those funds, it's a job creator. I mean, it truly is a job creator. I know the earth-friendly people are worried, but we need jobs. I mean, with 88,000 new jobs created this past week, I mean, come on. Obama's not talking job creation with tigers on the golf course. He's or when Beyonce's over hanging out, it's not a big concern in today's government. Government to me today is just a bunch of lobbyists and, pocket pushers, But, drilling for gas for oil, great idea. Do I know the details of it? No. But when you get a group of people together who can work on it, sure, it could happen. The legalization of marijuana. It's a very touchy subject. Well, a lot of states are doing it medical. Some, Colorado and Oregon, I think, were the two that went, legalized. But nobody wants to regulate it and tax it. That's all I'm saying to do. You legalize it, you regulate it, tax it. My love of history teaches me prohibition. Why not use marijuana as a second prohibition? Bringing it, legalizing it, the avenues of tax that you create. Everyone's like, oh, no more taxes, no more taxes. Well, it's not about more taxes, it's about different taxes, is how I'm looking at it. Another second most touchy subject, which I am an advocate for, is legalizing prostitution. I'm not saying every girl should be on the corner working it. What I'm saying is, until you've known and cared for someone who sells themselves to earn a living in today's economy, you'd feel better if they were in a brothel doing it, where it can be controlled, regulated, and safer for her and the John, than her going to random hotel rooms off of Craigslist and Backpages, or kids getting tied up in it through, Craigslist and Backpages. You give harsher punishments when you have it better regulated on the government end, which in itself is a job creator, immigration is a very huge topic right now. One of the people that I, want to help as a part of this funds, and by the way, that the prostitution story, she is one of those people I want to be a part of the funds. I want to get her in a treatment program, help her. She has no friends or family other than me. And the only way I find out anything about her is she doesn't return calls or text messages, but I check her updates on Backpages to make sure that she's okay, she's still alive. But back to the immigration thing is I lived in Florida for 8 years before I moved back home and bought my store. And I went to college down there and then worked down there for 4 years after. I went to Northwood University. And this whole project is being named after Anthony Marino, which was one of my professors he was the one that kept me in line while I was in school. I actually have a lawyer who has funds to sue me if I don't follow through with this. I already gave him money. His name's Peter Williams. He's getting a copy of this, and the names that I don't use directly, he's getting a list of all the names, so to protect them people, in case I don't follow through with what I'm saying I'm going to do with the funds, he can come after me for them. And, because today's day and age, anybody that wants money can scam people. Well, how do you protect that? You got to hedge your bet. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm hedging the bet and betting on me by protecting you by hiring a lawyer for you. He's also the lawyer that got me out of my royalties with my franchise. Great guy. But long story short, the immigration. When I worked down in Florida, I had a guy, his name was Mauricio, who worked for me. And Mauricio, one day I got a call from corporate. I worked for a company called Steak and Shake. And I get a call from corporate saying, they needed a copy of Mauricio's Social Security number that was coming back bad. Well, by this point, Mauricio had worked at the store for over 4 years. I personally had worked with him for 1.5 years. And I call him in the office, and we get to talking. I said to him, Mauricio, I said, they called me saying that they need a copy of Social Security number. And he said, and his eyes lit up. And right then and there, I knew it wasn't his number. And I said to him, you're not here legally. He said, no. He said, I come to the United States because I want to work. I want a better life. That's what our grandparents did. That's what our great-grandparents did. That's what our great-great-grandparents did, depending on where you originate from. That's what these people that come here want. They want to provide. They want to work hard. They want everything. That us lazy Americans go, I'm too good to do that. I really would love to get back in touch with him and sponsor him through my store and have him come work for me. And maybe one day open up a store where he can be a managing partner in it. And that's what my goal is, to grow my business, grow my nonprofit hand in hand, utilizing proceeds from the business to feed into the nonprofit to keep it going. Different avenues to go, going. Sponsorship of Mauricio is, huge for me. I have an ex-employee who is a Marine, currently actually, just got done serving a second tour in Afghanistan. And he's getting out in September, and he's about to use his GI Bill. And I'm like, I'd much rather have him come, he's gonna come work for me actually until he actually starts school, overlap. But I was like, I'd rather you not go to school, save the GI Bill money for someone who needs it, you come work for me, and with this money I raise, I'll get another location going, up and running with you in it, and then each location will have a managing partner. So after 1 year of being a manager, they became a managing partner. And then little by little, they take over. So it's not me being greedy, wanting to save, use the money for myself. It's to use other people to help them better themselves. And I told him, then you can take part-time classes, if you really want to. But, utilize, in business or whatever you want. I said, but, he's an amazing kid. He's amazing. Amazing is the only way to describe it, I obviously, the grand scheme I should really jump to is, what is the whole fundraising for? The Anthony Marino Project is what I'm calling it. It's about bringing back the middle class, restoring faith in your community. Obama preached faith during his inauguration, but he hasn't once shown me what he's going to do to restore faith in this country. And he's not the only one. I mean, they're all the same. Any politician. My goal in life is to be a public servant, not a politician. I want to utilize this film that I'm going to create, this documentary, to be my platform to running for office one day. And that's my goal in life. Even though my father and my wife both tell me that it'll never happen, that I'm not a politician because I don't sugarcoat things. I am kind of brutally honest about things. And I'm trying to sugarcoat it right now for you on the camera, but I'm having a hard time. But, anything over $1 million that I raise goes directly into the Anthony Marino Project. Let's get down into the nitty-gritty of the project. It's about restoring faith in the community. 200,000, I'm going to break down the $1 million for you right now. The $1 million, and you can move stuff around, right? Yeah. The $1 million, $240,000 of it is how much I owe on my mortgage. I will utilize $240,000 of it to pay off my mortgage, give my wife that sense of security that she, thinks that I'm crazy because I want to work for nothing and help people. Give her that sense of security, for another 18 months, she still has a job. Her company got bought and supposedly there's 18 more months left. So at least it gives us that security. And then after that point, hopefully I can grow the project enough that she can come work with me on this. That's $240,000. $100,000 of it actually is directly invested right back into my business. I already got myself out of the contract. I want to grow by buying bounce houses and utilizing them to earn more income into the business, and also in the spring and fall, using them and a food truck that I plan on purchasing with the remainder of the money from the $100,000, utilizing them for fundraising for the Anthem Marino Project, utilizing churches and schools in my local community, going on campus, setting it up, cooking food, letting them use the bounce houses, making it a community activity that hopefully it will raise money for the project. Percentage of the sales will go directly to it. I have the restaurant that can, support it. Another chunk of it will go towards helping my friend who's in that situation, along with Mauricio and several other people out there. Another great story actually is I have a customers that 2 years ago, I don't know if it's a great story, it's actually a really sad story. But if I can make their lives better, it's a great story. 2 years ago, he was laid off from work. His unemployment has run out. Money has become extremely tight. Most of the time, they come in just to catch up and talk, more so than buy anything these days. But in December, he got a new job. Oh, things are going to be on the up. Their house was actually in foreclosure, and might even still be actually. He gets a job. Things are on the up and up. He has an issue in his mouth. Turns out he has mouth cancer. He's been out now since his new employer did say when he's ready to go back to work, but he's got to go through chemo, radiation, all that. It's an expense. Why not utilize some of that funds from the Anthem Marino Project to get their house back out of foreclosure, pay a couple months of the mortgage, help them get back on their feet, That's what we don't do. We don't help our neighbors anymore. Our neighbors hungry, we turn our head the other way. That's why I brought you here today to these grounds. This property is owned by another one of my customers. He's a 70-year-old man who 2 years ago was ready to retire. He sold his business. He was getting ready to sell this property, and he had a fire. And over the last 2 years, he's had issues with the insurance company trying to get the payout. He's supposedly almost there, and he just wants to dump it off to a developer who's going to develop this property instead of utilizing it in the way that it was. This house, the history is 1740. It's amazing. It has, it's broken down right now into a main house, which is where the fire is, and 3 other apartments. Well, my theory behind it is we give people government assistance, but we don't show them how to make it, help them get themselves back on their feet. We give them government assistance till the floor falls out behind them, or till they're making that first step and then in the right direction, then we somehow kick it out from underneath them. I have a customer, husband's in jail. She went through recovery. She was a nurse, lost her license, has to wait 5 years till she can get it back. She's working an $8 an hour job, trying to support her and 2 kids. And her landlord, she got a second part-time job, and her landlord found out about it and told her, you know what? Since you're working 2 jobs, you have more money, you can pay more. What's wrong with these people? So the whole idea behind this, which I would call Jerome's house, in honor of my father who died 9 months ago, is that Jerome's house is a place where you go help people who are on their way into recovery, getting their lives back together after being, an addict of some kind, and helping them get back on their feet. The 3 smaller units, they rent from anywhere from $600 to $1,200 a month, he told me. So what it would be is that they would get a portion of their rent back at the end of the year lease to help them get established in an apartment on their own, to get back on their feet. So these places will, there's people that are coming out of recovery houses and, Liberté, which is, I'm a huge advocate for. They're coming out and they're being thrown to the wolves because government assistance has run out. Well, what if we do away with government assistance and utilize this? Well, the remainder of the funds from this, would maintain the upkeep and all that. But then you look at all this property, and you go, well, there's so much more that could be done. Like, why not a chicken coop that can give eggs to the local food bank? Why not utilize the gardens that are there to, fresh vegetables to the local food bank? I mean, the Lutheran church by my store is one of the local food banks, and the lady who runs the office is a regular customer of mine, and she told me that, this is, they struggle at times to fill the shelves. I do a food bank food drive at my store currently. It actually runs from now until the first Saturday in May, when the mail postmen do the Stamp It Out for Hunger. That's what I raised for that. This is my 4th year doing that. And my mailman Bobby, well, ex-mailman now, because I have a new mailman, but me and him came up with the idea together. I'll give you $1 off your sandwich, you bring me in a non-perishable. It's a win-win. You can save up to $4 on an order, and you're helping me help somebody else. Why not utilize things to help other people? Why do we live in a world of greed, And I just want to basically, I don't know. I have much more to the story. And that's why I'm coming to you, is that help me make this documentary, make the $1 million, not for myself, but to make a difference in this world. It can help people all over. I'll fill you in on what I'm doing currently at my store, so you don't think I'm just trying to utilize other people's funds. My hair isn't normally this long. I actually grow my hair out to donate it. I'll somehow have him show you a picture of me with a shaved head. Those are my friends and family, know me as a shaved head. But a couple of years ago, I was like, gotta have a bucket list. Why not add some fun things to your bucket list? Learn to make balloon animals. Did that. Grow your hair and donate it for charity. Did it once, I'm doing it again. I found a place out of Michigan called Wigs for Kids. I'm gonna try to do it until they'll no longer accept my hair because of all the grays. But it's those things that make a difference in this world and make it a better place. Not everything has to cost money. Some things you can do don't have to cost money. But if we were constantly doing things to help people, whatever, but currently at my store, because I broke free from the franchise and I no longer have to pay royalties, I'm currently doing every month a rewards member. I'm picking them, they get to write their name on the back of a receipt, and at the end of each month, I'm pulling out a gift card, pulling it out and giving them one person, a $200 gift card to a local supermarket. Because right now, they're saying is that due to the economics of the sequester, which we all felt, the Social Security tax hike in January, the average household income is seeing a $200 a month, less. Well, if I can utilize my blessing of not having to pay royalties and use it to help somebody else, why not? So that's what I'm doing. $200 a month towards that, and I'm actually gonna, because I believe in paying it forward and helping other people, I'm also giving them a $50 gas card for them to give to somebody else who they know could use an extra $50 in their pocket that month. So $250 a month from now until as long as I can afford it, I'm gonna do it and make a difference, With the $1 million, I won't have to draw a salary. I can utilize as much funds to helping support this project and making it a big thing, utilizing it to help people. If I don't need to draw a salary because my house is paid for, I'm all about helping people. We'll eventually have to draw a salary. I'm sure I will. But Whole Foods, the guy who started that, saw him on Fox and Friends one morning, and he was an inspiring story. Since the economic downturn, he's cut out his salary. He's made money, he's content, and he wants to utilize it to grow his business and create jobs. I'm not as big as him. I'm just a little guy in a little town, but why can't I dream like him? If it wasn't for dreamers, where would we be? I thank you for your time. Hopefully, this will, help. My philosophy is 200,000 people at $5. $5 is what? A pack of cigarettes for you? It's what? What I spend on the lotto each week? hoping one day to make enough money so I could do something like this. You know, $5, you know, there's an online website, online fundraising, you know, like my store on Facebook and follow how the fundraising goes, and you know, or mail it a check directly to the store. You know, I'll make sure he post it all online on this thing as I'm talking here. But you know, thank you for your time, and I believe with family, faith, and friends, anything is possible. And without my dad here with me today, with him looking down on me, if I can't get it with him up there looking down on me, I ain't gonna do it. So that's why I'm here today, because I believe that he'll make it happen. He'll help me make it happen. He believes in me. Nobody believes in me as much as he does. Thank you.